Last summer, my family and I went on a vacation to Germany in Europe. And before we came back to Vietnam, we bought some souvenirs at a duty-free shop. And the total of them was 40 euros. But after the salesperson calculated the bill for us, we didn't know what to do in front of him because we didn't have enough money to pay for that souvenirs. And he seemed to understand the situation. So the salesperson just told us to show him how much money we had. And what we didn't expect is that he just smiled and he said, "Well, I'll give you a discount then." And he also added, "Next time, remember to revisit Germany and pay me back." And we were so surprised that we didn't know what to do except for keep smiling and keep saying thank you to the salesperson. And on the plane flying back to Vietnam, I still remembered how happy our family were, and we kept talking to each other about this story. And I just thought, that guy, that salesperson, he was just a normal person, a total stranger who we only had 5 minutes of talking to. But he left us with the feeling of being welcomed, being respected, and he made us realize how friendly German people are. And that's what resonates me. So I started to think about how could the salesperson could easily make an impression on me, even though I've always struggled how to make a good impression on others myself. And a lot of us are also in the same situation as mine. So most of us have Googled how to make a good impression on others or tips for making first good impression. And obviously there are thousands of suggestions from remaining eye contact to using body language. And sometimes I also receive results such as do your research and be prepared. So all of this make us think that making an impression on someone is a really hard thing to achieve. And in conversations, we always think about what we should say, how we should behave, or what we should do so that we can leave a long-lasting impression on other people. But sometimes we are under a lot of pressure that we even act or say something before we even think about it. And when we try to make an impression on someone, this is the worst thing that can happen. But after I encountered the situation at the airport, I asked myself, what if making an impression wasn't about the strategies or the tactics we learned before, but it was about something much simpler? Just like the salesperson in my story. When he gave us the discount, he was just doing his job as a salesperson. But he left us with the feeling of being welcomed, and he left a really great impression on us by just a small action, which is this discount and a lovely message for the tourists like us. And I realized that maybe making an impression is not a separate skill that we need to learn or we need to practice, but it's a part of our everyday life and our everyday action. And forgetting about how to make a good impression on others by applying the strategies, but focus on the genuine kindness behind everything that we say and everything that we do is the actual key to the most long-lasting impression. But now, some of us might question, then how can small acts of kindness speak volumes of who we are rather than the strategies or the tactics that we learned? So before answering this question, let's think about why. Why did the salesperson give us the discount? Why did he help us? Or what motivated him to give us the discount? So since we only talked for each other for 5 minutes, I guess maybe he encountered this problem before, or he didn't want the situation to be so awkward, and that's why he offered to help. But the truth is, we could never know what motivated him to help us. But that's the beauty of every small actions. They often leave us with heartfelt feelings without needing any grand explanation behind it. But when we force ourselves to make an impression on someone, it means that we are trying to find a reason behind why they should be impressed by us. But we cannot be sure of if our strategies will work. But it's different for the small act of kindness. So we, the customers, walked away from the airport with not only a resolved financial situation, but we could feel a sense of warmth and joy for having able to meet such a lovely salesperson. So understanding the power and the key behind every long-lasting impression make me become less stressful about how I can make a good impression on others. But it does not end there, because this experience inspired me to spread the same positivity to other people as well. And I realized that making an impression on someone is no longer an individual's problem that matters, but it's about the sharing and caring that connect other people together. So when we force ourselves to make an impression on someone, we tend to focus on ourselves and we ask ourselves questions like how we appear in someone's mind or if our performance is good or bad. But after understanding the key behind every long-lasting impression, our perception shifts. So we now ask ourselves questions like, how other people feel? What can we do to help them? Or what can we do to impact them? And in other words, our perceptions and our focus is not on how we appear, but on how our appearance can impact other people. And from that moment, I became more mindful of opportunities to help other people at the airport. For example, I held a door for strangers. I said some kind words like hello or thank you to the airport staff. So these seemingly small actions are actually a way for me to pay forward the kindness that I receive from the salesperson. And this is called the ripple effect. And just imagine you throw a pebble into a pond. At first, it just creates really small waves, but then it keeps sending ripples outward, and it just changes the whole surface of the water. The discount that the salesperson gave to me act the same. So it wasn't just about the help between me and the salesperson, but now it inspired my family to help other people. So after I held the door for strangers and say some kind words to the airport staff, what I received is also a smile on their face, exactly what I did when I received the discount from the salesperson. And I realized that no matter how small or big our actions are, positive impressions just naturally appear, not because we're actively trying to help other people, but because we feel the urge to really help and care about them. And this is the difference between putting it on a show and doing it with an open heart. And I believe this is where the final destination of making an impression on others should be. The most powerful impressions are not made. They are earned through the quiet language of kindness. And I guess it's time for me to stop thinking about how to make a good impression on others, but to do an impression of what that salesperson had done to me on that day. Thank you.